Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Glenn. Good to be here. Good to see some familiar faces. You can go to the next slide, please. So we wanted to make sure we came here today to talk a little bit about the Safe Streets and Roads for All grant program. The notice of funding opportunity is not yet out for the fiscal year 26 round, but we have it on good authority that it will actually be posting this Friday, which is March 27th. And I'll get into some more details on the time frame of that in a moment. But we didn't want to miss this opportunity with this audience to share this because it will be only a 60-day period. So I wanted to just make sure we got in front of you all and offer our assistance once this launches. So just to provide some context, this is a program that was established in the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act. It includes $5 billion over 5 years, starting in fiscal year 2022, and this is the last official year within the IIJA of the program that is coming up. But it's possible the program will continue on in some form in the new reauthorization bill or in future iterations, TBD. But the goal of the program, of course, is to improve safety outcomes on roads and streets for all roadway users. And it supports both planning work, demonstration projects, as well as construction projects and operations. So it's very the project types do vary, and I'll get into a bit more on that in a moment. Next slide. So as I mentioned up top, we don't have the NOFO yet, but we will hopefully be seeing it this Friday. Unlike prior rounds that were open for 90 days, we've heard that this round will be only open for 60 days. And so what that translates to is it looks like that it will close on May 26th, which is the day after Memorial Day. And then we'll see award announcements at the end of October, which is sort of TBD as well at this time. But the two project types, we don't have the NOFO right now, but we heard a presentation from USDOT staff a couple weeks ago, and they noted that two areas that will be emphasized in this upcoming NOFO are rail crossing elimination projects and modal separation projects generally, right? So if there are problematic grade crossings or projects that would separate different modes like, say, bicycling or pedestrian activity from roadways, they seem to be looking to prioritize those. And then projects that address safety issues that are caused by a lack of truck parking. So they mentioned sort of trucks that may back up into roadways or infringe on areas for pedestrians or roadway users to prioritize that as well. So kind of new-ish project types seems to be of importance to the current USDOT administration. Next slide. This is information from the prior round. We don't expect it'll be too awful different, so still wanted to include it here, but just so you can get a sense of what is available. It's $982.2 million was available in fiscal year 25. As the previous slide said, this is about $1 billion per year included in the authorization, so we expect to see a similar number for the fiscal year 26 round. In the last round, they broke it up between implementation grants ranging from, say, $2.5 million to $25 million in award size, and planning and demonstration grants ranging from $100,000 to $5 million in award size, and a bit less available total in that category. But of course, the awards are smaller, so breaking it up that way. And then there was a caveat in the last NOFO about not more than 15% of total awards going to a single state. And I will say in the last round, which was under the current administration, the fiscal year 25 round, 14 entities in Massachusetts did receive awards through SS4A, which brings our total now to 59 total awardees between fiscal years 22 and 25. So it is very much, a popular program. We know, I'm sure as I see the attendee list here, right, I know that many of you have received awards. I think all 13 regional planning agencies now have planning grants, if not demonstration grants as well. So it's definitely something that we feel we can be competitive in and securing these funds. There are, most of the time, matching fund requirements, typically 20% of the total project costs. In the last NOFO, there were sort of exceptions to that if, disadvantaged communities or rural communities, but we'll see what the next NOFO says on that, but that's been the case in the past. Next slide. As far as eligibility goes, this is very much catered toward local governments and regional planning agencies or metropolitan planning organizations. States are actually not considered eligible applicants. So although we can assist with application development and assist with administering matching funds, we're actually not allowed to apply ourselves or be a co-applicant with anyone or administer the federal funding for the grants. Although we are very much able to support folks, and that's why we're here today, is to amplify this and also offer our assistance. So that's kind of how we've dealt with it in the past, but we're not actually technically eligible applicants ourselves, with the idea being that this program is meant to address local challenges. Next slide. So let's get into a little more detail on the eligible project types. In past rounds, and we think this will likely stay the same, there were two overarching project types, those being planning and demonstration grants and implementation grants. Planning and demonstration, think, planning, think safety action plan, sort of developing what's called a high injury network to look at where the most problematic areas are for safety outcomes and prioritizing which ones should be addressed first. Demonstration activities, think, putting out demonstration or pilot materials, signage, cones, other kinds of temporary materials that could be removed or moved around to demonstrate sort of the effectiveness of a given safety intervention, If your community does not have roundabouts, say, and you're interested in sort of seeing how folks react to that without permanently implementing a roundabout, you could put in a temporary roundabout at an intersection and see what the outcomes are and how people react, or things like pedestrian refuge islands and things of that nature. And then implementation grants are more sort of longer term construction type activities. It also funds engineering and design work. So if you are in need of both designing and then constructing a project, those are covered as well. Oh, and I guess I'll just say on this slide too, something we've heard in debriefs with the USDOT on the program is that you are eligible to apply for multiple project types within a single application. So you could, in an implementation grant application, also request planning or demonstration grant funds. In the last round, we saw that folks that did that sometimes got a partial award. So if they requested implementation grants and demonstration grants, they got the demonstration grant, but not the implementation component of it. So we would probably advise that folks do that just to give ourselves the best chance of winning some awards, but that's something we can discuss on a case-by-case basis, but wanted to flag that here. Next slide. A bit on the action plan, because this is an important component. If you are looking for implementation grant funding or construction funding, in the last round, USDOT did require that you have a qualifying safety action plan. And all of the regional planning agencies' action plans do count as this, that cover regions. So if you're a municipality and you're looking to qualify, if there's a existing regional plan for your RPA, that could qualify as the eligible action plan. Some communities have gotten local safety action plans awarded through SS4A, so those could be pointed to, but regional plans can cover this. And there's a link here on the side that gives a little bit more background. They actually, in the last round, offered review of what they call the self-certification worksheet to look at whether your plan would qualify. So possible that that will be offered again this round. But the action plan is really that data-driven strategy I mentioned earlier that prioritizes roadways for safety issues across your community or region, and can help you make a lot more competitive as well. Next slide. So as far as how to apply, here are some helpful links. Again, these are all from the last round, and I put in red text which information was from the prior round, but these links are all still active. It just says that there's not a current application up, but we're assuming that it might be possible that 2025 will change to 2026 in the link there, but we'll be sure to distribute the active links here as well once we see the NOFO. But for future reference, they use a system called Valid Eval, so you do not have to go through grants.gov. We're hoping that's the same this time. And just some other contact info and links here to reference. Next slide. And I also wanted to plug, we're really grateful for technical assistance being offered, and I think we have folks on the call here today from Kittelson Associates, Tool Design, and Bar Foundation. The Bar Foundation has made funding available for Kittelson and Tool to provide technical assistance for FY26 SS4A applications that would be at no cost to communities. So our team at MassDOT Planning, we're called the Municipal Planning and Support Team. We've been working closely with these consultant teams on this process. And so if you'd like to request that support, please contact me and my team. We've got our email addresses on this screen here. We'll be sending around more formal sort of communications on this as well once the NOFO is out, including a deadline for when you can request technical assistance, probably within 2 weeks of the NOFO being made available. But that is the process we'll be going with again, and we have some support to offer it from MassDOT as well. So I'm just looking to really help communities as much as we can to win this money.